Welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into a topic a lot of people have been messaging me about. What is the real situation for retiring in Thailand in 2025? Is it still a good idea? Is it getting harder? Or is most of what you hear online just noise? I'm not here to sugarcoat anything, and I'm not here to scare you away from the idea of moving abroad. I'm here to give you the truth based on what's actually happening in Thailand right now, not the drama on Facebook groups or the fantasy posts on Reddit. So let's break down what's happening honestly. Tourism isn't retirement, but it affects everything. First, let's be clear, retiring in Thailand in 2025 is not the same experience as coming here as a tourist. But tourism still matters because when tourism is healthy, hospitals grow, clinics expand, restaurants and small businesses stay open, infrastructure improves, and the cost of services stay competitive. And yes, tourism in 2025 has definitely slowed down compared to last year, but it's not collapsed, it's just softened, guys. This means everyday life feels a little bit quieter. Some businesses are offering better long stay deals, but not all. And some areas that were overcrowded feel more balanced now. For retirees, honestly, that's not always a bad thing. Cost of living is definitely still lower than the West, but it's definitely changing. Let's talk about the numbers. One question I get a lot on the channel and on my social media accounts is, can you still retire here comfortably in Thailand on a pension in 2025? And the short answer is obviously yes, but it depends on your lifestyle. Rent is definitely still affordable, but it's not as cheap as, let's say, 10 years ago, obviously. Electricity is higher than it used to be, but it's still very, very cheap compared to the West. Imported groceries obviously cost a lot. Local food, markets, street food is very cheap still. Eating out is still far cheaper than the West, even though probably it's gone up a bit over the years. Medical care is still excellent value over here. If you want a Western style living over here, imported food and, every luxury like Western style, you're not going to save that much, I'll be honest. But if you adapt even a little bit and live like a local a bit, kind of half and half, then you can save yourself a lot of money. A one bedroom apartment near the beach would be, I mean, it depends on the location, but probably something between 10 and 20,000 baht a month, if it's near the beach. Monthly eating out plus maybe groceries is going to be something like 12 to maybe 20,000 baht per month. Electricity, internet, and water probably around 3,000 baht to 4,000 baht per month. And obviously, health insurance varies immensely, but anywhere from 5 to 10,000 baht per month because most of you guys are over 50, so it does cost a lot more for some of you guys coming over here. So, retiring on, let's say, 1,500 US dollars to 2,000 US dollars is still possible, and it's having quite a nice lifestyle out here. But I think you can live very comfortably if you get over the 2,000 US dollars per month to 3,000 US dollars per month, and that's probably a more realistic kind of amount to bring to Thailand to have kind of a very comfortable and mostly Western lifestyle out here. But Thailand is definitely not this, 800 US dollars a month paradise that, some YouTubers claim. I mean, some real youngsters come over here and they've got no experience of Thailand. And, yeah, they're living on $800 a month. Probably okay. They're just living in hostels and very cheap, eating street food every single day. And they're not here long term. They're just here for a couple of months. So that is still possible for a young backpacker for sure. But it's not a lifestyle I don't think you guys are going to want to live over here. Visas in 2025, what's happening? Well, there's more rules, more options. This is where things get a bit more confusing, I think. Thailand has introduced maybe some stricter enforcements on some visas, more paperwork as usual, and new longer stay visa options like the DTV visa. But there has been a few problems with this visa. So yes, the system is a bit stricter and constantly changing, but that's pretty normal in Thailand. I mean, visas are always changing and adapting in Thailand. You know, if you come over now, the chances are the visa is not going to stay the same. It's probably going to change over the years you stay here. But I think the visa system is good for, if you're a legitimate retiree coming to Thailand and you want a retirement visa, the visas are fine. They're really good. I think it's just trying to get the bad apples, not staying, people staying here on tourist visas and constantly doing visa runs and, out and in of the country all the time through the borders. They're trying to stop this most of the time. That's what this is for. So if you're coming here on a normal kind of retirement visa, it's absolutely fine. The retirement visas in 2025 still require you to be aged over 50 plus and have some kind of financial evidence. So either 800,000 Thai baht in your bank account or 65,000 baht coming in as a monthly income. So one or the other, guys. Some people see this as a bit of a hassle, but compared to, Europe, Australia, Canada, or the US, it's still pretty simple to get the retirement visa, you know, compared to some other countries. If you come to the UK, it's absolutely really difficult to come over because I've already looked for my missus to come over, and it's very, very difficult to come over to live. Yes, you can come over as a tourist quite easily, but to come over to live in the UK would be very difficult for her. So you have to look at it both ways. On the retirement visa, you're not forced to buy property. You can rent property or buy if you want to do. You're not forced to invest in the country. So you don't need a huge income. I think 800,000 Thai baht in your bank account is not that much money to a retiree. Quite a lot of people have got this in savings. Yeah, there's obviously paperwork when you come to Thailand. That's pretty normal with the visa process in Thailand. If you've been living here a while, you'll know this. Uh, and immigration in most of the cities around Thailand are very, very helpful if you treat them with respect and go in there with a good attitude. Problem is, some foreigners go into these immigration offices and don't go in with a good attitude and don't speak very well to the immigration officers, and then that doesn't lead to a good kind of outcome. It's definitely easier in the countryside or the quieter immigration offices. Obviously, in the big cities like Korat, Nakhon Ratchasima, Korat, which some of you guys are going to. The offices there are quite busy. Same in Bangkok. There's just lots of people going in there, immigration. But you go to a quiet place like ours in out of Bangkok, and they can be nice and quiet and not many people in there. So it depends where you live in Thailand how easy that will be. I think healthcare is another really important thing to talk about. And here's the truth that many retirees don't really understand until they've experienced it. Thailand's healthcare is world class. There's modern hospitals, Western trained doctors, fast appointments, clear pricing system, high quality dentistry at fraction of the cost of Western prices or Western surgery is the same. You can walk into private hospitals in Bangkok, Chiang Mai, Pattaya, Phuket and get treatment normally the same day. I mean, try doing that in the US or in Canada or the UK. That's not easy to do at all. For retirees, that convenience is worth more than the cheap rent. It's peace of mind. You can get and see a doctor very quickly if you need to do. Oh, if you're just enjoying the video, guys, can you do us a favor? Just press the subscribe button. Thanks, and back to the video. I think there's a big expat divide going on in Thailand at the moment with two very different groups of people here. In 2025, the expat community in Thailand has become, very split. There's one group that's very happy here, settled retirees, expats here who enjoy the culture, they adapt, they learn the Thai language, they build a life here. Some of them get partners out here and get married out here. And then there's the group two that's like the angry online crowd, people who complain about the visas, complain about immigration, complain about the beer prices, complain about the weather. They basically just complain about everything in Thailand. And I think even if they weren't in Thailand, they'd still be complaining about life wherever they were living. So these are the voices you hear online, and in the expat groups, on Facebook pages, on any kind of pages you're reading about, you see these guys just going off on one. And they're saying, Thailand's finished, don't retire to Thailand, it's all a scam. It used to be better than, everywhere used to be better than it is now. But here's the truth: the happiest retirees are the ones who adapt and don't expect the country to revolve around them. And the angry ones, most of them aren't leaving, they're just complaining about everything online. They aren't actually leaving, they're still staying here, so they actually must really like it deep down. Or they've actually just got no choice and they haven't got enough money. That's probably another factor. So, where should you retire in Thailand? Thailand has definitely changed. Some places are busier and expensive, and some are quiet and affordable. Some are growing, some feel stuck, they're not really growing that much. So, here's the truth: I think Bangkok's an amazing location for a lot of people. I mean, a lot of people overlook Bangkok, but it's got amazing healthcare, great food, it's very modern, but it's definitely hot and intense at times there. And it is expensive if you live right in the center. Chiang Mai is another one that a lot of people decide to go upon. It's still one of the best retirement cities in Asia. It's awesome up there. It's affordable, it's peaceful, there's a lot of culture up there. But the big thing is, the smoky season is very real up there. So that's something to look into yourselves. Hua Hin is probably, what I promote on here a lot, and I think that's a great location. And south of Hua Hin as well. I think this is probably one of the best places now for retirees in 2025, 2026. It's a beach town, it's clean, it's safe, it's touristy, but not too touristy. I admit it is getting worse, and they've got great hospitals there. But compared to like somewhere like Phuket, the tourists are a lot less. Pattaya is another very popular destination that people choose. It's better than it used to be for sure. It's cleaner, more family friendly. There's a massive expat community like Hua Hin. Great healthcare, the same. And another choice would be Isan. A lot of people are going to Khon Kaen, Udon Thani. I think this is probably one of the cheapest areas to kind of go to. It's very quiet, local friendly, perfect for retirees who want peace and authenticity, I think, out in the countryside. But it's not for everyone out there. So it's somewhere maybe go and check out, but, it's not for everyone, I'll be honest. Phuket is a very popular area to go as well. It's a bit pricey down there, but it's very beautiful. There's some beautiful areas down there. Maybe best if you go on a bit of a higher budget, I think, and you want beach life plus top medical facilities and a very western kind of lifestyle as well. So obviously you're going to need a little bit more money, I think, if you're retiring down there. Can it still be done on the cheap? Probably, but you have to look around a bit more. People always ask me about, is Thailand stable enough for long term retirement? And I've been living in Thailand for 15 years now. Thailand has had political changes in recent years, but nothing dramatic like this year. It's just changed the prime minister again. But I've not really seen any danger over here over the last 15 years. Nothing dangerous has happened to foreigners. Generally, yes, there are incidents for sure, but they're very few and far between compared to other places around the world. The country stays relatively peaceful. Yes, there has been some turmoil between Cambodia and Thailand this last year. Tourists are still coming. Now we're into November and it's getting very very busy again. Actually, the tourism has really picked up this month. Retirees live their lives pretty normally here. Businesses keep operating generally. Yes, some close down, but that's pretty normal around Thailand. Businesses close down and open up, a new one opens up. That's pretty normal over here. I think the real reason people stay here is the quality of life. Forget the YouTube debates and forget all the things you read online. The visa rumors or whatever. Here's why some of the retirees stay long term here. I mean, the first thing would to say, the great climate over here. If you pick the right location, you got clean ocean air, you got great food, friendly people, affordable, comfortable apartments, houses, whatever you choose to live in. It's definitely a lower stress over living over here in Thailand. There's fantastic healthcare, a strong social life if you live in, one of the expat retirement zones. and a very relaxed pace of life. And many retirees say they feel 10 years younger after moving over here. They walk more, they eat better, they socialize more, their stress drops dramatically. So retirement should be about living, not just surviving on a pension. Thailand still gives people that kind of freedom, I think. So is Thailand still worth retiring in 2025? Right, here's the honest truth then. So Thailand isn't as cheap as it was 15 years ago when I first got here, for sure. But I don't think anywhere else is. Visa rules are, they do change, but they aren't as loose as people say sometimes. Some areas are pricier than newcomer expects. And yes, some changes take adjusting to when you get over here. But you still get world class medical care, affordable comfort, safe streets, friendly culture, good food, beautiful places around the country, and a strong expat community and lifestyle you simply can't get in most Western countries anymore. So Thailand hasn't gone downhill, it's just evolved, I think, a bit. If you come with realistic expectations, respect and culture for the country, and choose the right location, which I think is very, very important, retiring in Thailand in 2025 can still be one of the best decisions you'll ever make. Okay, I hope you enjoyed today's video, guys. Don't forget to subscribe and like the channel, and I'll see you on the next video, guys. Take it easy.